Okay, it's Sunday at Romford Film Festival. I'm here with some filmmakers behind a fantastic feature film we've just had called The Potato Factory. If you'd like to just introduce yourself and your roles within the film, please.
Yes, I'm Henry. I'm the director. Well, the crew. Self-shot. So.
I'm Nomi. I'm the actor in it.
Thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful film. When I saw it, it was so inventive and so different. That's what I love so much about it, and we've nominated it for Best Screenplay here. I just fascinated to know where the idea came from, your inspirations for it.
Well, I originate from Shropshire. First of all, just like the chaos of the place, the farmland known as Shropshire, is a great collective of stuff to draw from. It's full of very eclectic characters and people who are trying to get away from that farmland, trying to escape and stuff like that. So a lot of that was drawn from just lots of people I know and stuff that were trying to get away from those. It's very isolated. Again, I guess a lot of what's depicted in the film is somewhat true of that area. Yeah. But in terms of the actual films and stuff, it was just like I was watching a lot of. I think the original thing that really spurred me on was I don't know if you heard like Bo Burnham's Inside. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One-man show, all in one room. And I was just like, oh wow, you really can do anything if you like know your limitations and can work within that. And then of course that means collaborating for a few years, right. And it just felt like, okay, well, what's a vehicle we can make where so I did the short where I was in front of the camera and I tried to do a version. And then we wanted to grow something bigger, and then of course I want someone more talented in front of the camera, because your performance, your thing. Yeah. And we built it from the ground up from there, really. So it was all built to be a vehicle for you to kind of, and express these things of this weird place, really. Yeah.
How much did you sort of work together beforehand, going through the script?
We've done 3 short films together.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's 3 shorts. Yeah.
3 short films. And then I watched this short as well.
Yeah.
As when you were pitching the feature film to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to take it on as a one-person film? Like, how much pressure do you feel, and how do you approach that when there's no one really else to bounce off?
Yeah, it was quite daunting because I mainly come from a theatre background, where you are used to having people right here to have the energy of, and you have an audience as well. But we did a couple of short films where I was by myself, so I had a bit of warming up to it, and then it's just part of the challenge, really, part of the excitement of why I wanted to do it, just to give myself like a real jump off a cliff moment. Yeah, it was really fun.
Good, nice to hear. What was the most challenging part for you? That's for both of you.
Right, that's interesting.
Climbing the grader.
Right.
That took several takes because I kept falling down.
Yeah, I think that the picture of you struggling to climb into it is coming from a very real place. Yeah. But I think in terms of like what I really struggle with, I'm trying to think really. Shooting in February in Shropshire, waking up at like 6 in the morning, going out there, is turning the heat on was not just a narrative thing. It was a way of surviving. It was very, very cold. And your fingers are all clamped up, and you're there for 10, 12-hour days trying to get these shots.
Yeah, especially the premiere scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was freezing.
Premiere scene? The hotel premiere?
No. Where I've got the heels on and I'm walking.
Oh yes, bless her.
It was so cold.
Yes.
And so I had a little coat. So every time we cut, I'd put the coat on.
Because normally, with the big outfit, at least we could sneak 20 layers, in there.
Yeah,
or
I got
something,
10 layers under that.
Yeah, but when you're wearing a dress, it's just it's. And we shot it at night as well. It was just the most cold as shed, frightfully cold. But yeah, mainly, to be honest, it was probably the editing that was hardest. Just trying to put it together and having also no one to bounce off, because it's very solitude experience of building an entire thing and just trying to understand what you're kind of working with and how it. I had to show it to a lot of people eventually, but yeah, it was very kind of solitude experience. Yeah.
So it was literally just the 2 of you making it?
Literally.
Yeah. And in post as well?
Yeah. All the process.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah.
What was behind the decision to have it in black and white?
First of all, there was she says in the film, and I think actually that was somewhat what I went into as well, in the idea of giving up the illusion that she's trying to make a proper film. Mm-hmm. But in terms of that, it was just also understanding our limitations Right. Like the entire film was built around knowing exactly what we could accomplish from what we had. And shooting black and white, first of all, like, it made it feel like, I don't know, I've seen those barren fields and stuff, it just felt kind of otherworldly, really, just in a strange land. And also, it kind of like pays off. It's nicer later when I feel when it's all dark and grainy, and just gives it more, you know, a weird vibe.
Yeah.
But mainly, yeah, it's just knowing what you can work with, and it just suited the lighting working with and things like that. Yeah.
What would you say motivates you as a creative person? What, why did you want to get into this industry in the first place?
I think I have tried to do things that aren't. I mean, first of all, I try to do things that aren't creative, like just like outside of why even I want to be creative in the first place. My brain cannot comprehend; it just shuts down. If I'm not making something, I really, I have to be making things, and so there's that element to it. But the main element, I think, then is more of an emotional thing of just like. There's some sort of feelings or ideas that I just don't really know how to like express or explain, and the best way I find it is to share it or see if other people feel that way is like through going through like, you know, weirdly expressing it through like madcap films, really. Like, I don't know if you feel.
Mine was, well, I was inspired by, I watched Lord of the Rings a lot when I was little, and I watched all the behind the scenes, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And going forward, like, there's a really beautiful quote from Alan Bennett to the History Boys, which is, you come across something that you thought unique to you, and it's like someone has reached out a hand and taken yours. And I was like, to experience that feeling is wonderful, and to be able to have the opportunity to give other people that feeling is also wonderful. And
100%. When I watch films that connect to me, it's like you suddenly feel so shared, like you feel like something that's so yourself or lonely, or only you can feel. Oh, cool! There's other people out there.
Part of the universe.
Yeah.
I feel like that with music.
Yeah.
You think, oh, okay. There's other people who have the same thoughts and the same feelings and that kind of stuff.
And when you go to a concert and everyone's there and you're just here for that.
All collectively there for like some of these feelings. Yeah. That's great.
What's one thing that you learnt making this film specifically that you'll take forward as a learning curve?
Get a crew.
Employ more people.
Pay them. I think like this is really itch to scratch on like that kind of like narrative that I want to make. But I really like moving on. Like we're about to shoot our second feature in a week. So, and the main thing like we've loved about making this film, but want to move on, is just like how different it is having two people in the room, like characters. And just how narratively different it is. It's just like there's such a satisfaction to like things bouncing off each other. So this like we really like went everywhere we could creatively to like play around with one person, and now like it's about just it sounds obvious because that's what every film does, but it's just like understanding how much nicer it is to have two characters in conflict and playing with that. So I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, going forward. You're the next film, so yeah. So if that makes sense. Also, just don't shoot in February. Yeah. June is a much warmer month to come.
Is there anything you've learned specifically?
Just that I can learn that many lines. And just trusting like my instincts and stuff a bit more. I think that really helped, especially being by myself. I was like, I have no one to like lean on. I have to like, it all comes from me. So that was really like, I grew a lot, which was great.
Yeah. I think that was what we did a lot of the film. It was all instinctual a lot of it. We had no shot lists. We had dialogue, like you had to learn all that, but there were no shot lists. It was always like go to a place and find the scene.
Right.
And that was very rewarding for like, you know, knowing that you can find it there and develop it together, and that's like a really shared experience that we could create something together, like with equals. It's
like
definitely
everything was a discussion and
100%.
like just playing around really.
And going forward, that's all I care about is that collaboration, that complete open-heartedness, that like you can completely build stuff together. I think it's a beautiful thing. So it's probably.
Just on a practical level, how do you remember so many lines? How does it stay in? I wouldn't be able to do it myself.
Either.
I drilled it a lot. I drilled it a lot in my brain, but I mainly remember lines by I'll read it 3 times on the page, and then I'll read it 3 times off the page, and then the next line, I'll do the same thing, and then I'll tag them together.
Okay.
And then slowly I'll learn by tagging all the lines together.
Right.
So by the end, I could essentially recite the
stitching it
whole.
together.
Yeah, yeah. And then I also reward myself. So when I get to the end of the scene, I'll have like a sweet treat.
A biscuit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. I like that.
I have Peter biscuits on set to help her remember as well.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
Was there anyone in the audience who had a question? Put your hand up for me. Yeah, please.
Can I ask how long it took? I mean, you started in the February, you said. But
yeah,
how many
first of all, the entire production of everything went from pen to page to pressing render and it being finished 1 year. So it's a very quick kind of like whole creative process. But in terms of the actual shooting and everything, it was about 2 weeks, a bit over, while in Shropshire, farmland, and then we did about a week or something. I think it's just a week, right, in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also.
So I had a tiny reshoot in the farm, back at the farm, but it was basically like just over 3 weeks, really.
Yeah.
So that's quite quick. It was, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And the budget?
Budget was just under £1,000, just 1,000. Yeah. It was really just like pennies and working with what we had.
Yeah, I work for free.
Yeah.
I work for free.
Oh yeah, you work free.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Self-funded. That was out of the pocket. Yeah. So yeah, it's very lucky, really. Mm.
Anyone else? Oh, sorry, there's a hand there. Yep, please.
Thank you for bringing your film. I was curious about the plane scene. I'm guessing that wasn't factored into your budget, was it?
That was not a plane rental, no. That was one of the few parts that weren't scripted. We saw the plane actually landing on the farm, caught it, and then we retroactively made the scene back from that. So it's one of those really lucky, like, happy accidents that we kind of lent into. Yeah.
Yeah, there's usually there's one on every film of a happy accident. Someone usually says to us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just have to embrace it when it happens.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah. And you claim credit for it. Yeah. Mm.
Anyone else?
Nice.
What do you both? Can you give us a bit more info about the film that you're working on next?
Yes. So it's more of a horror comedy this time. It's called The Rules of Conversation, and it's basically about this woman who is incredibly social awkward and doesn't know how to go into the dating world.
Okay.
And when she does finally get dates, she's accidentally dated a creature that pretends to be a human. So it's her trying to survive that and trying to figure out, will she catch on this creature, or is she too worried about, is she coming out across good? So it's just the horrors of the dating world, really. Yeah.
And you're in that?
Yeah, I played the socially awkward woman going on a date.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did have one other question. What was your inspirations? Was there any, like, I don't know, comedies or anything like that that you particularly enjoy that you thought about in the making of it?
It's strange because I definitely 100% draw from everything, but a lot of it's like unconscious stuff that I can they steal over years and you didn't realise. But I mean, an obvious one I think that clicks out is just generally the vibe of the Wes Anderson films, like generally the way they nest stories and I love that. And sometimes I come out for framing and just let her be in the wide and the comedy in that. There was another film, got the name, I think it's not Man with the Camera, because that's a very old film, but it was like this other film that's like a mockumentary, but it ends up being a serial killer.
Oh, Man Bites Dog?
Yes!
The Belgian one?
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
We played that at the Horror Festival a few months ago.
Really?
Yeah, that's nuts, that film.
That is nuts!
Yeah.
I love that.
I can see that in this, yeah.
Yeah, it's black and white as well, and I think I drew from that. Yeah, I'm so lucky that you knew the answer to that, because I didn't
want to keep holding you on, that would be cool.
Okay, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, because that's a mockumentary, and so I love that film, yeah.
One last fun, silly question.
Yes.
If you could be any potato, which potato would you be and why?
You go first.
As in, what would I become as a potato, or what kind of potato?
Oh yeah, what is it like? What
like,
type?
would I be like a baby potato, or do I want to be like Chris?
Or is it the what you turn into?
You can choose, because it's a hard one to answer. You can choose how to answer it.
I would probably be I think it appears in the film, a Joe potato. Yeah.
Very fancy.
Very.
What is that?
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what it is.
It's like it's like a French potato. It's you like put it down and you like crisscross. It's like
Oh.
sometimes people have the potato and then you put chopsticks next to it and then you crisscross it. So then when you pull it, it looks like an accordion.
Yeah.
And it's just fun.
Very nice. You eat it with your pinkies up.
Yeah.
And I would, it's a two-part answer. I would be a Maris Piper because I have the understanding they are very versatile potato. But the route I would then choose, it probably would be mashed potato. And it's just because the joy mashed potato has given me. I would love to share that with the world, which is good.
Lovely. Thank you both so much for coming.
Thank
Congratulations on
you.
the film. We really loved it, and it's a great film. Wish you luck on your next one. I'm excited to see that myself.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Can we have
you.
a round of applause, please, for our film.